Hey guys, Rashda Ali here, and welcome back to my channel, Diary of an Expat. 2 years ago, me and my family, my husband and my two boys, moved from West London to Dubai. And this channel is something that I wish that I had at the time to help me to navigate. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about a topic super close to my heart, and that is autism and ADHD in Dubai. So as they say, let's get into it. So coming to Dubai, autism and ADHD. So if you have a child that basically is on the spectrum, then this is a super important video. I mean, I'm now here for 2 years and I have been through a roller coaster when it comes to ADHD and autism in Dubai. So let me give you a bit of context and a bit of background as to why I'm someone who has some experience when it comes to this. So when my son was 1 year old, he's now 7.5, in nursery, they basically they said that he doesn't make eye contact and he doesn't basically listen to us when we call his name. And I said, yeah, maybe it's because, he's not that friendly towards you, and he doesn't have that attachment because he calls, when we call his name, he answers, etc. And then I kind of noticed that he didn't really make eye contact. I kind of sort of drilled down a bit into it. Anyway, long story short, it took me a while. It took me a really long while for acceptance, for me to accept that there was something going on. Anyway, after I'd accepted it, I think it took about 6 months. It's really difficult, I think, for a parent to basically be told that, have no experience with it, and then think, your whole world crumbles around you and you're just in a bit of denial for a very long time until it comes to acceptance. So me and my partner both went through that process. Anyway, so then what we did is we did some reading. We started to educate ourselves, empower ourselves. We're like, right, this is where we are. As you do, let's tackle it head on. So let's understand what we're dealing with. And then we basically went to we were in Hillingdon in West London. We went to the local council and we found a really good specialist. She really helped us. She was in the nursery setting. She was in the school setting in the UK. And basically she even came to the home. She was wonderful. She really helped us to help Dean, my son, to navigate certain situations that he was coming across, social stories, storyboards, and basically guiding us. He had separation anxiety. She helped us to deal with all these things, which honestly, it made our life so much easier. Anyway, fast forward 2 years ago, we made the transition to Dubai. And when we came to Dubai, she was so amazing. She even made us this lovely little storybook. And it was just pictures, because he's very visual. And I believe that they are very visual, autistic and ADHD children. And she basically gave him that book. And it was such a help. We have it to this very day. And I always show him that book. He loves it. And it really helps him to understand that you're changing school, you're going to a new house, you're going to have a new basketball lesson, you're going to have a new school, new friends, you're on a new adventure. And each page shows him that. So it really helped to make the transition easier for us, which I'm super grateful for. Anyhow, fast forward, we land in Dubai and I'm thinking, okay, I need to get him into a school. So now, when we applied to the schools, we disclosed that he has ADHD or autism, because we weren't actually sure at the time, because we were on the NHS waiting list in the UK for about 1.5 years. I think they said that, there was a COVID backlog. So it was the longest time. And I remember before coming to Dubai, they said that you'll get an appointment in about 3 or 4 weeks. And I thought the timing couldn't be more off. So when we were applying to the schools in Dubai, at the application form online, they were asking if there were any additional needs. So I put them down. And then when they asked that bit, they asked you to attach a report. And I was like, God, I don't even have a report. So I had a report from his school that he'd finished up in the UK, but he was only in reception. So they couldn't really give much of an understanding, but they did give some issues that he had, his challenges and his weaknesses. So that was really helpful. But the school was actually asking for an official report. So I was like, oh my gosh, what do I do? So I was like, right, I need to find somewhere here. So we started doing that Google search that you do, and we basically found the Dubai Autism Center. Now, the Dubai Autism Center is a place where they basically have, the pediatricians, speech and language therapists, motor skills, OT. They have all of those educational psychologists, all of those professionals in one place. And that's actually the place that they assess your child. Now, we did have to pay for it, and I found it was a massive cost. I was super annoyed that I had to pay it, and the fact that we hadn't managed to get it done in the UK in the time that we had. And basically, the cost, just to give you an idea, it was about £2,000. It was a lot. It was a lot. But I thought, you know what, we need this report. We need it done once and for all to understand exactly what he needs assistance on throughout his school life. So it was going to be super, super important. Now, with Dean, so we went through the steps. So it took 2 different appointments. Each one was for 2 hours each. And those different professionals, the 4 of them, all assessed him. So that happened. We went there for 2 separate occasions. And what was my feedback on the whole process? The process was lovely. They made us feel really comfortable. They were really nice. But what I would say is I think it would have been a bit better if they had actually sort of made him feel comfortable first and then assessed him. Because I don't know if you have a child with ADHD or autism or is on the spectrum, but basically when they first interact with strangers, they really, the emotional regulation is super off because they don't know you, they're not their normal selves. So I just felt like maybe they should have had one meeting where they let him just get to know them, and then the next 2 meetings could have been the time where they actually assessed him, because I feel like the first meeting he was just not himself and some of his behavior was over the top, and I don't feel like that was him. Anyway, it is what it is. So 2 weeks later, they gave us back the report. Wonderful. So what did we learn from them? They also let us know. So sorry, I'll come back to some of the things that they actually advised us about in Dubai. So in Dubai, they don't use the words autism and ADHD. They basically summarize it and they call it children of determination. So that's something that I found out. I didn't know that terminology existed here. So that's what they call them here, children of determination, which is a pretty cool phrase. And what else is it? In schools in the UK, I was so used to calling it SEND, right? The SEND department or the SEND officer, or do you have a SEND officer in your school? And basically they don't call it SEND here, they call it inclusion. And the reason why I want to let you know this is because I kept phoning up the school and saying, do you have a SEND department? And they were like, totally confused. And they didn't know what I was talking about. So they call it the inclusion department. So just to let you know that that's the phraseology they use. If you have ADHD or autism, they do expect you to have a report. So do make sure you get one from the school that your child is leaving in the UK, but also that they've been assessed by the actual local authority, or you've basically had them assessed in the UK. I've just let you know what the cost is here to do that. So yeah, I mean, that is a good summary of ADHD and autism to my knowledge so far in Dubai. I'm going to be making a couple more videos on this. I'm going to be talking about inclusion support in schools in Dubai, how it works here, and how it's different from the UK in so many ways, but I'll be making more videos on that. So in the comments below, I'd love for you to post some questions that are on your mind when it comes to ADHD and autism in Dubai, and I'd love to help you to navigate that situation. Do subscribe and like this channel, and do hit that bell notification so that you're notified every time that I bring out a new video. Hope that video was helpful for you. I super enjoyed making it, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.